Hey guys, welcome to the Breaking 1000 podcast. I'm your host, Mark Brewer. I've got Hunter Wilson and Scott Wilson here with us today. You know, we've talked in previous episode about delegation and 365, 1080-10, talked about how to actually hand things off.
Yeah.
What we haven't talked about is how to receive the handoff. And I'm excited today. Hunter, why don't you just jump in and talk about what it looks like to receive a good handoff?
Yeah, I know. In some of this, I want to start by saying, like, if you're receiving this, like maybe your pastor sent you this episode, like, hey, watch this is good.
Yeah.
Here's how I would take it. How I would receive this as, I think the number one way to get promoted in your organization is to be really, really good at being delegated to.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
really, really good because that's really what the ultimate goal is of delegation, is trying to multiply impact. And they're trying to see is, are you a reliable person that I can entrust?
Yeah, you know, the number one thing that I'm looking for in delegation is not just that you're taking the task, you're taking the responsibility, you're taking the weight.
Yeah.
Because if I give it to you, but I'm not sure, do you really have it?
Yeah.
You're going to handle
You're
it,
still
right?
carrying
You got
the
it?
weight.
You got it? Then I'm walking away and I haven't even really delegated. I've given you a task, but I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
The power of it is I know you have received that. You have taken hold of it and taken ownership.
One of the saddest
this
things
is a big deal.
that we see all the time, it happens so often in the Olympics, is that the United States has the fastest guys in the world, but they cannot do the handoff. Constantly that baton gets dropped because it's not just about teaching how to hand off, it's about teaching how to receive. And I love what we're talking about today because it's both.
Yeah. So in this, let's just talk to the person that's receiving the handoff.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, I think one of the first things you need to know is that there's two types of people, stereotypically, that delegate. Number one is no news is good news. So some people, when they delegate to you, if they hear no news, like Mark, they assume, dude, if they had a problem, they would have come and told me.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
If they're not saying anything, they're rocking and rolling, dude.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to hear the progress. Unfortunately, that is not you or I. And I think you have to understand that about your leader. The other type of person is, if I hear nothing, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, first off, is who is my leader? I don't think either one is right or wrong. I think one causes more stress, and that's unfortunate for us. But I don't think one's right or wrong, and there's systems in place to handle the opposite type.
It's so important because there are times when I know that I have glitched both of you guys. Even now, I mean, we've been working together for decades. But if I'm not reporting and letting you know that I tied up the loose end or I took the baton and I did something with it, even though you have a lot of implicit and explicit trust in me, it messes with your natural gearing.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important as you're talking here today that if I'm a receiver of the baton, I've got to know my leader, the person that handed this thing off to me, because even though my natural bent is, hey, yeah, man, dude, they'll tell me if there's something wrong. Y'all's isn't. And I have to think that through because that's not natural for me.
You're not treating it. It's not the golden rule of treat the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
It's treat them the way they want to be treated.
Right.
Yeah,
inside
really
of
good.
this.
With what you're saying there, my dad always said to me, it's not what you expect, it's what you inspect. But what I say is, no, give me respect. I don't want to have to chase you down.
Yeah.
Give to me the report because, hey, I know that's how you function.
Right. So first up is, who is your leader? And honestly, the simple rule of thumb here is over communication works for both. For the person, no news is good news. When you were giving them good reports, they're going to be like, man, they're killing it. That's great.
Yeah.
I didn't need this, but that's great. For us type, we need that. It's like, okay, they're working on this.
Yeah.
And if it is bad news, you don't, we're going to talk about this in a second. You're not escalating problems of like, I faced a problem. It's just saying, hey, we hit some road bumps, but I have some plans on figuring it out, and I'll let you know at our next meetup. For you, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're even communicating that they're going to figure it out. For us, that's huge inside of this. Good news and bad news. Over-communication is key for both personality types, but you better make sure that you're communicating for people like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Love
right,
that.
number 2 is there's two things that a manager or somebody that is your direct report, somebody that's delegating to you, there's two things they're thinking about with that thing that they're delegating to you: quality and pace. Quality and pace. They're thinking about, honestly, with a lot of times, if you've ever delegated before, they're like, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it as good as me. Right? So they're thinking about quality. Are you going to hit the quality standards even though I've delegated it to you? Are you going to be able to get it 80% as good as me? Are you going to be able to hit the standards of what is expected around here? Right? And then they're also thinking about pace. Are you going to turn it in when you said you're going to turn it in? Are you going to give me milestones along the way? Are you going to communicate with me that you're on track? Because if for me, if I think this is a 3-week project and you're 3 weeks out and you haven't started, but you're like, don't worry about it, I have it planned for like a week from now that I'm going to get on it. It's like, I don't know if you're going to be able to hit that pace.
Yeah.
Right? Quality and pace. If you know that, you can turn in drafts to show them the quality of where you're at. You can let them know about pace, that I'm hitting my mile markers. Inside of it, for us, what we do with all of our big projects that we're working on, every single week, we have a list, and we can talk about this in a future episode if people want to hear about it. Our project list, every single week, people on our team are giving a red, yellow, or green.
Yeah.
On where they think, am I going to be able to hit the objective by the given due date? And then I want to see a progress meter on a scale of 0 to 100. 0 means I haven't started. 100% means I'm fully done. I'm not working on it anymore. Where are you at 1 through 100? 0 through 100. Right? Are you 14% done? Are you 26% done?
Because we're not trying to hit this like the old school university, the last 48 hours before the end of the semester term papers due.
Yeah.
You're spending 50 hours on this term paper, but you're doing it in the last 50 hours.
Yep.
That's not what we're looking for in an organization. We can't handle that. And so the pace and even what you're talking about, the reporting, is a trajectory of milestones and things that we're passing through.
Yes.
So if I'm a staff member receiving that, part of what I want to do is be clear on what is it you're asking me to do? Why are you asking me to do this? Like, what's the purpose of what we're trying to do? Are there any guidelines, like resources I have, whatever?
That's so
like
good.
that?
Yeah, I that's actually like the perfect transition of what I'm
Great.
talking about next. I think inside of this, sometimes you want to be a good soldier when you're being delegated to. And if somebody hands you a project, you go, I can get it. I can get it done. I got it. I got this. But they want to look as though they're competent, but they're not being patient enough with themselves to make sure that they have the expectations set before they start the project. And they want to look like they're like, man, anything I ask them, they say yes.
Yeah.
But dude, you're going to pay the consequences of it if you don't get things right from the start.
That's really good. And you don't have to say it again. I just want to slow down for a moment. If I am receiving that baton handoff, I have to be okay to ask questions and get clear instead of just,
You can still say
got it.
yes.
Yeah.
You can still say absolutely. Can I ask you? I have at least 5 questions you need to ask. And maybe you already know some of them, but honestly, you might want to check your assumptions too.
Love this.
But you know how I would end that? What I love it is when you guys talk to me and at the end, you'll say, okay, let me make sure I got it.
Yes.
And then you say back to me,
yes,
you want this done because we're trying to accomplish this. It needs to be done at this time. And this is what you want. And this is how I want you to communicate to me. Because part of it is, I don't need it all the time. I just need it. If you could text me and just say, hey, I'm on or whatever, email. So even pastors need to tell you, how do you want me to communicate and when?
And there's a scale to this. Obviously, like if it's something like simple, you might not need to go through these. I'm saying if somebody is delegating you something big, here's the 5 questions that you need to make sure you have the right answers to.
All right, cool.
Number 1 is the why, which is what you just said, even intuitively, is why is this a big deal? Why is this a big deal? Number 2 is the level of delegation you're delegating to me. There's 5 levels of delegation. All you have to do is when you know this, you just have to circle the one that makes the most sense for this one. Level 1 is I want you to do as I say. That sounds like kind of militant, but really some of this is just like, hey, I need you to go pick up Chick-fil-A for our guest speaker and us. It's like, there's no like recommendation.
But why? And what's my motivation?
There's no, it's just like, okay, do as I say.
Yeah, just go do it. It's a task.
It's just
Go
a
do it.
task.
Yeah.
Number 2 is I want you to research and report. Okay, so let's say that we're coming up with like a Christmas brainstorm of like creative elements we can do inside of the lobby experience. I want you to do research and report back to me like what you found. What have other churches done? Like what are good ideas inside of this?
Right.
What do hotels do? What do blah, blah, blah.
Could be engagement pathway, and you're saying, hey, go find what other churches are doing to follow up and to engage people when they come, and then bring it back to me.
Yeah. Level 3 is make a recommendation. So from the research, I want you to say, okay, if you were me, which one would you do? That's a higher level. That's level 3. Level 4 is I want you to decide and inform me of what you did. So in this, you're saying, hey, what level of delegation is this? Okay, do you want me to decide and I'll inform you of what happens? Or the last one, level 5, is act independently. Like basically, here's the weight, here's the assignment, here's the project. I'm giving this to you, now run with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about this again.
And there's certain roles that afford that, and then certain seasons or certain events or particular tasks that afford that.
Yeah.
So it's not, it could be, even as an executive pastor for many years with you, there were still times when it was like, hey, can you just go do this the way I need to get it
Well,
done?
there's also big level delegation where if I hired a kids pastor, I don't need to know every week of what you're teaching in kids church. I've delegated that to you as the responsibility of the curriculum, what's going on, and putting it together, and that it's going good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think inside of this, what I really want to build in is really like almost like the template. Like if you had this printed out, these 5 questions, it's like the template of stack of papers of like, I need to delegate something. I'm going to grab this piece of paper and I'm going to fill this out as a delegator. Or you grab the paper and say, let me just make sure I'm clear on this.
Yeah.
What is the why? Why is this so important? Because I want to make sure that I hit the objective. Number 2 is what level of delegation out of the 5? I'm going to circle it. Right? Level 3, got it. You want me to make a recommendation. Number 4 is what is your definition of done? Because certain people have different measurements of what done means.
Yeah.
So, for example, I remember when I got hired on staff, I was on the creative team at first. And when I was doing that, when we were doing like teardown after service, done is not when the service is over. Done is when the tools are back in the shed.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And like that,
The chairs are stacked or whatever's supposed to be done. Yeah.
you got to understand what is their definition of done. What does success mean to you? What does a home run look like? And that might even be a great question. Is not what's your definition of done. It's just like, I don't know, do it. It's what would be like a home run to you? What is your standard of what green looks like if you're going to give me red, yellow, or green?
Yeah, that's great.
Make sense? The next one
It's
is
hard to hit an expectation you don't know.
yeah, and so you might as well.
You got to make it clear to me on what is a win to you.
If I killed it, what did I do?
Yeah.
The next one is number 3 is definition of done. Number 4 is their timeline of done. When do you want to see this done by? That's pretty obvious. And then number 5, I think is super important that people don't do, is what is the update frequency that would make you feel at peace about this?
Good.
Do you want
I like
me to
it.
do a weekly check-in? Do you want me to do a daily check-in? Do you want me to do a monthly check-in? It depends, first of all, on how long the project is, but also, honestly, if this is like the first time you've ever delegated something to me, then you probably want a tighter frequency. The more you build of feedback.
Yeah.
So inside of this, I might be like, if you don't have a built-in check-in like we did inside of our all staff of what I'm saying is red, yellow, green, and what's the progress meter, you need to send a report to them of where am I at with the thing that you delegated to me. Do you want that in a weekly email? Do you want me to come into your office and present to you at 9 a.m. at like the top of the morning? Like, what do you want me to do? Yeah. Those are the 5 questions that I think really, really are going to tee you up, person receiving this.
Yeah. I would say that, can I say one more thing on it? I think, well, first of all, let me see if I got the 5. I think I got it. Number 1 is, why are you giving this to me? What is it that I'm trying to accomplish with this? Number 2, what level of delegation am I doing, and do that. 3rd is
the definition of done. Like, what's a home run look like?
What's a home run look like? What's the timing of done, and then the last one is
the cadence,
Frequency
the
of
cadence,
check-in.
frequency check-in.
Yep, update.
Here's so what I think is at the end is if I would want people to know on the receiving end is if you work for me, like I'm the boss and I'm delegating to you, then no isn't an option. Not saying no, I'm not going to take that. Okay. What I think is if you're doing it, you can say, absolutely, I'm here to do whatever you want me to do, boss, but can I ask you which of the other things you've given to me, give me a triage, give me a priority, because I don't know that I can accomplish both of the things at the expectations you've given me and the time you've given me, which is priority and which takes back
So that's a double click of the clarity. You've given me this assignment.
Yeah.
These other assignments had fully taken, the lion's share of my workload, and I need a little more clarity on how you would like or how you foresee
a way better
managing
way
that.
of saying it. I love like the catchy way of saying it that you told me is don't tell me no, say yes, but. Yes, I can absolutely do that. But I feel like I'm juggling like a full plate right now. Is there any of these on my list that you've already delegated to me that you want me to de-escalate?
And by the way, for a visionary leader, sometimes when we're on the receiving end of the baton, we think that the visionary leader is keeping in their brain every assignment that they've doled out, everything that people are responsible for. It's not fair if I don't remind my visionary leader, hey, I just want to remind us about these things.
How I started the whole deal about saying, I want to not just give you the task, I want to give you the weight.
Yeah.
Part of it is if you're a really good person and carrying out and receiving delegation, I'm not even thinking about what I gave you anymore because I know you have it.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking about it. So I don't even remember I gave that to you.
That's right.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Man, you're right. You can't, don't take this.
Yes.
Like that. Okay. So, but you've got to help me. Don't say, okay. And then you're sitting here saying, there's no way I'm going to be able to do all this.
Right.
Don't do that. That's not fair to me.
Yes.
I would look at you and say, hey, tell me.
Yes.
Okay. Just don't say no. Say yes, but I need clarity on which one is more important because I don't know that I can do both at the expectation and in the time.
Okay, another thing that I think is critical inside of this is depending on the size of the project and the more reliable you become, the bigger the projects that get delegated to you, is when problems come up in the midst of something that you've been delegated, I please try to solve it before you escalate it. Try to solve it before you escalate it, meaning don't come to me with all your problems. It makes me feel as though I have to take the weight back off of you and carry it myself because you can't handle it.
So it's not the 1950s horror flick running through the streets. There's a problem. There's a problem.
I think what is inside of this, there is something about what you're doing that's appropriate. Let's just say there's a problem scale on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is like the building's on fire problem. 1 is just like, hey, they didn't give us Chick-fil-A sauce in the Chick-fil-A. Like, it's fine. Like, whatever, right? Maybe you have an intuitive sense that in the project that you've been delegated to, you can handle problems on your own and make decisions on a threshold of below a 6.
Yeah.
But maybe a problem comes up in the midst of the project that's a 7 or an 8. Do not come to me and say, I need you to fix this for me. What I want you to do inside of the make a recommendation, which is the level 3 here, is maybe you don't have the authority, like you would say like that's above my pay grade, right? If you are trying to you need to solve something that's above your pay grade, my recommendation of what I would do to you is to make a recommendation, which is you have clearly identified the 1-3-1. The 1-3-1. If you have a problem that's above your pay grade, go to your leader and say, here is the one problem. Let me clearly identify it for you so you don't have to think about it. Here's the problem that we're facing. Here's the 3 options that I think we have at our disposal. Could be 4. I like doing at least more than 2.
Yeah.
2 makes you think binary. And most people, when they feel threatened, fight or flight, what they do is they think all or nothing.
It's so good.
We can either do it or we're not going to do it.
Got to have the third option
The third option forces creativity to find the gray.
Right.
It's not black or white, it's gray. Like, what are our options here? So you can do 4. I'm fine with that. But let's just stick with the model, 1-3-1. One problem, give me the 3 options that are at our disposal. And if I was you, which I'm just coming to you because it's your decision, here's what I would go with and why. I think that is such an amazing thing when people come to me and say, this is above my pay grade, here's the 131. You're trying to not have to make me think. You're trying to make it be like, well, that I would have gone with the exact same. I would have do option B too. I think that's great. Go for it. Run with it. And it's a 2-minute conversation instead of me feeling like you can't handle the responsibility.
Yeah, and if you're
I'm
the
giving
receiver of the baton and you function that way, you start elevating the confidence that your leader has in you. And you start aligning the way that you think with the level of the leader that you're working with.
Yes.
And that breeds a lot of upward mobility for you.
All right, here's my last piece of advice inside of this. Especially if you are a person that what they have delegated to you, you need to make something out of it. So like you're a graphic designer and you're making the graphic, you're writing something and you're presenting something, like you're making something, okay? The reason I'm trying to harp in on this is because people who make things, the things that they make are precious snowflakes to them, right? And they do not open themselves up for feedback because they think it's too precious. What I would highly recommend is if you're being delegated to create something, you need to ask for feedback before you think it's perfect. This is why we have toll booths set up in the 10-80-10 process is give me a cadence of seeing where you're at even before it's finished so that I can speak into it, not that you're gonna get all pissy at me because I'm telling you it's not to the standard and you're like, dude, you know how long I've been working on this?
Well, and it's even direction. If you think the definitive direction is this way, but your leader hasn't spoken into it, they could just move the wheel just a little bit, and the end game is decidedly different.
We did that in programming before services that we would be 2 months in advance, and there would be a presentation in programming meeting that says, hey, here's the logo we're thinking for that series. Here's the stage setup. Here's what we're thinking will be the tools or what we do.
Which also affect your definition of your timeline of done. Because your timeline of done is not, I made it before the series starts. It's you turned it in with enough time to give me feedback without you freaking out and having to stay up all night to fix it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's your timeline of done.
Good stuff.
Okay. So in this recap, there's 2 types of people. No news is good news. And if I'm not hearing anything, nothing's happening. There's 2 things they're looking for. You got to keep this in mind. They want to know, are you hitting the quality standards and are you keeping pace? There's 5 questions that you've got to make sure that you understand. Don't just be a yes man and be like, got it, I can do this. I would do like what you said and say, okay, I think I understand, but let me just double check with you because I want to make sure that I'm starting off on the right foot. Here's the 5 things that I think you want me to make a recommendation. Here's the why. Here's the timeline to done. And they're like, okay, let me make an adjustment here. Or that sounds great to me, right?
You got it.
You gotta knock that out of the park. When problems come up, because you're being delegated to more and more higher and higher level problems to solve, right? Come with a recommendation. Don't come with a problem because it makes the person delegating think you can't handle it. And so come with a recommendation. Don't make me think. Do a 1-3-1. 1 problem, 3 options, 1 recommendation, and then give yourself enough time to give feedback without freaking out. Like, this is my precious snowflake and I have to turn this in by tomorrow. And there's no time for feedback.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I love it, man. Fantastic. All right, so again, man, if you're the one receiving the handoff, this is going to be super, super helpful for you. And if you're the handoffer and you've got people on your team, please let them know about this podcast. If you got a question or you got a topic that you'd like us to tee up on the podcast, just shoot us an email at that's HEY @readysetgrow.church. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.